Alright, here we go. Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff. We've got Games with Gold. We got Alienation post-launch patch. We got PlayStation Now coming to PC. We got PS4 Slim. Dark Souls 3 DLC. And yeah, that's pretty much what we got for this podcast. But before we get into it, let's talk about what we played this week. So I dived in, got my copy of Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. Very, very good game. Like it's a lot of fun. It's very, like obviously a lot of similarities to the first game. That open this sort of semi-open world. You basically have this really big map in Prague to explore, and then every once in a while you get sent to different areas of the game that are like their own semi-mission. So
Okay.
It's pretty good. I really like the enhancements. I like the new tools and whatnot. And also the thing that I've also like a lot is that I just like playing as Adam Jensen. I really like Adam Jensen a lot. I especially the Elias Tefexis, who is the voice actor. I really like the voice that Adam Jensen has. So it's a lot of fun to play. I also like I said, I love the exploration. I love breaking into buildings, and I had a lot of fun. There is a bank that you gain access to really early in the game. That you can just go and try and break into, and I pulled off a bank heist in which I went through some vents, climbed through some offices, knocked out some police guards, and I broke into a vault, and I hacked all of these like bank little safes, and then got a shit ton of money and items and whatnot. So that was really, really fun. The only thing that's not so good about the game is the stuff surrounding the DLC and the pre-order DLC and whatnot. So to get my pre-order DLC, I had to jump through so many hoops. I got really freaking salty. Like basically, I couldn't figure out where to put the code in because it was like I need to register for a Square Enix account, right? So I'm like, it would be nice if the piece of paper told me where this site was, where I needed to sign in, instead of giving me a link that brought me to nowhere. So then I finally figured out what I had to do, and this is so baffling to me, because why would you make this so complicated? It's like I have to sign up for a Square Enix account using the Deus Ex website. Then, from the Deus Ex website, once I'm logged in, click on the Square Enix account itself, and it will bring me to a different account site. And then on that site, I have register. And then finally, if you click the register button or register games, it brings you to a site where you type in the code that was useless everywhere else. Basically, it's a code saying, I have bought this copy of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Register that you have bought this copy of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. So you put in the code. Then after that, it finally gives you the actual code you need, which is the PlayStation 4 code, which is like 12 digits. And then I take that code, type it into the PlayStation Store, and then finally I get my DLC. But it's like, why wouldn't they just skip the entire process and just give me the PlayStation code to begin with?
Because that would be too easy, Tanner. They want you to work for it.
That's a little bit annoying. The other thing is that I haven't had that much of a problem, but they didn't really fully explain a couple things about the DLC in this game.
Okay.
So basically, unfortunately, there are sort of microtransactions, which does kind of suck. But honestly, you can completely ignore them. Like it doesn't. It's not like in Metal Gear Solid 5, where after a while I started to realize that the game was hampering me purposively, so that I would feel obligated to buy stuff. Whereas this game, it really doesn't. It's just sort of there. It's I wish it wasn't, but it's just sort of there. But the biggest problem with this is that apparently people who got all this extra pre-order DLC and whatnot didn't know how to access it. And how it works is you actually have to go into your inventory and select storage, and that's where all of these pre-order bonus items are for your character or your playthrough. Okay. But the thing that does kind of suck about it is that you can only use them once. So basically, it's like you have a free praxis kit or a free special gun or whatnot. Mm-hmm. You're only allowed to use it once per one time only. So even if you start a new game, you're not going to be able to transfer the pre-order bonuses that you got over to this game. That's a little bit whack. I wasn't too impressed with that. I guess in the I guess it makes sense to a certain extent because I think basically this is meant for like microtransactions where it's basically like if I decide, hey, I want to buy a bunch of praxis kits for whatever reason, right? Mm-hmm. I can't just make a bunch of, profiles and have a free praxis kit every single time. I feel like that was the reason why they did it. It's still kind of scummy, but and I'm not too happy about it. But overall, I still think the game is really, really good. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm just glad to be back in the Deus Ex world overall.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what I've been playing this week. What about you, Fawaz?
Okay. So before I get into anything, I just wanted to take a quick second now to apologize to KOF14. Oh. So I made an effort to consistently shit on that game all through development, and the game finally got released, and I'm hearing reports that it's actually a really good game. I mean, it looks like crap, but the core gameplay mechanics are really good, and it is generally considered one of the best fighting games to come out this year. Yeah, so I just wanted to, no sarcasm, no jokes at all. I just wanted to, admit that I guess I was, well, I focused too much on the graphics, and I never took time out to really, on the presentation, never took time out to really look at the core gameplay. So, hats off to SNK, and looking forward to seeing what you guys do next. Anyway, so with that out of the way, I got my copy of The Witcher 3 back. My little brother sent it back to me. So I'm pretty much just trying to platinum that game right now. I have almost all the trophies. I'm missing 3. Unfortunately, one of the 3 that I'm missing is a pain in the ass. It's you're supposed to get 50. You're supposed to kill 50 humans and non-humans with headshots, which would be fine in a game like Skyrim. But the archery in this game is garbage, and the hit detection is even worse.
Right.
So there's numerous times, because whenever you get a headshot, the screen shakes.
Right.
There's numerous times when I've killed an enemy with an arrow to the head, and the screen didn't shake, implying that it didn't register as a headshot.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna take me a while. I'm probably gonna have to grind that one out. Normally, I don't even grind trophies. Like generally, I'm like, okay, if the trophy actually requires me to grind, then I'm just like, well, screw you. I'm just not gonna waste my time.
Right.
However, after completing the card collector trophy, which requires me to get every single Gwent card in the entire game, wow. After successfully completing that trophy, I'm like, I'm getting this platinum.
No, I don't care. You've gone this far.
I've gone this far. I am getting this platinum. Yeah. I don't care. I do not like. It's funny. I'm not even bothered by the grind right now. Because I'm like, you know what? At some point, I'm going to get this headshot trophy.
Yeah.
And then I'll just get the platinum. So I'm like, I don't even care. So once I get that, then I'm gonna, because I have 2 characters. I have my first character that I made, and then I made another character who was like more of an alchemy build. So that's the character I'm playing right now. I'll go back to my first character, and then I'll do some of the, because I finished the game with him, and I didn't touch him. I just made a brand new character.
Right.
Wait, no. I finished the game with the first character, and then I went into New Game Plus,
Yeah.
And then he became my quote-unquote second character. So I'll go back to regular new game, and I'll do some of the DLC. I'll actually take my time with the DLC this time.
Don't try and rush through it.
Yeah, don't try and rush through it. Hopefully things aren't too easy, because I've just been playing on like Death March New Game Plus for like 3 months now. So going to just Death March, or maybe going to Blood and Broken Bones, is probably going to be really, really easy. I don't know. We'll see. Famous last words. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I also bought Divinity, but it's gonna take me a while to get into that game, because like this happens with every RPG, and this is one of the reasons why I'm always apprehensive towards buying brand new RPGs, is that I have to start learning all the systems from scratch. With Dark Souls 3, it wasn't too bad because I'd played Bloodborne, right?
You played Bloodborne, so you kind of knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, when I was leveling up my character, for example, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need strength, because I'm going to be using strength weapons, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to need vitality, because I'm not fond of dying in one hit. And then I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need stamina. So like for the beginning of the game, I could just focus on those, and then gradually, I'd be watching videos with like build stuff and figuring out how to smoothen out my build and all this stuff. But in general, I had a basic idea, right? But with Divinity, it's like a brand new game. It's a pain in the ass. Sorry, I just woke up. It's a pain in the ass if I haven't made this very obvious. Yeah, but hopefully, this happens with every RPG. Happen with Persona. It's gonna take me a couple hours to like break through that wall, but hopefully, once I break through the wall, the rest of the game will just flow. Because literally everybody that I've mentioned this game to has been like, "Oh my god." You're going to have a good time. This game is amazing, blah, 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 blah. So I did a little bit of the combat, but I made a mistake, because I made my first character a girl and my second character a guy, but I forgot, because you know how they give you automatic names?
Yeah.
I forgot to change the names. So Roderick is my, young black, and then Scarlet is this male knight dude. So, that's going to bother me. So I'm just going to start again. I'm 100% sure that's going to bother me. So I'm just going to start it, because I'm literally at like the beginning parts.
I've done the beginning part.
But yeah, that's what I played this week.
All right, cool. So let's get into some news. So we got some games with gold got announced. We've got Earthlock, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, Forza Horizon, and Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Pretty good. That's a pretty good list. I'm all for Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is actually a pretty fun game for what it's worth.
This is true. Just for the record, the Forza Horizon and Mirror's Edge are both backwards compatible. So there's that. Okay, sorry. That's the last one. That's gonna be the last.
That's the last one. All right, here, folks. Last one.
Okay. I've never heard of this Earthlock game, so I can't really comment on that. The Assassin's Creed Chronicles China was one of the most disappointing games of whatever year the game came out. This year, I think. Yeah.
I think it was last year.
I think I mentioned this on the podcast when the game came out, but I'll reiterate. I loved what's that game called again? Oh, shit. Mark of the Ninja. There we go. I love Mark of the Ninja. So when they announced Assassin's Creed Chronicle, I thought the games would be reminiscent of that. But apparently they're not. They're just shit. So hearing that not only are they getting Assassin's Creed Chronicles, but they're getting only one of the three, that's kind of disappointing. I'm actually, if I was an Xbox One owner, I'd be more excited for the Xbox 360 games than the Xbox One game. Now, to be fair, like I said, I don't know much about Earthlock, so this isn't a criticism towards the game. I just don't know. But yeah, Forza Horizon and Mirror's Edge are pretty interesting. But Assassin's Creed Chronicles China that's really all I can say to that.
It kind of sucks that that as far as this list go, we're more interested in the Xbox 360 ones than we are in the Xbox One ones. So,
But not a bad month. Unfortunately, Sony haven't announced their lineup yet. We're probably gonna get it. We'll probably get it by the next podcast, so we won't be able to compare until then.
Yeah, for sure. Next on our list, we got Alienation post-launch patch. So we got some stuff.
Yeah, so it added weekly missions. So I'm just going to read the quotes here. These missions offer up rewards for completing them, but feature unusual rules. New loot has also been added, including armor with customizable colors and different types of modifiers. A new difficulty setting, Legend, has also been added, as well as higher hero level cap. Finally, my fellow trophy what? Anyway, hunters can look forward to 6 more trophies. House Marquee is also selling more paid DLC. Chief among them is a secondary laser weapon named Devastator and a heavy cannon with bouncing projectile weapons named Collapser. Both can be purchased for $4.99. There's also an armor paint pack for 99 cents that includes 3 exclusive paints as well as a $4.99 Veterans Hero Pack. The latter allows players to start new characters at level 15 with immediate access to World Level 2. All these DLCs are available with the Season Pass, so folks who purchased at launch will have access to everything. For those who have relentlessly played Alienation, this update gives you plenty more to utilize. For those who fell off, now would be a great chance to get back in. So it's funny that the free stuff sounds a lot better than the paid stuff, which is fine by me. Just a quick update. They also added a patch in June that we didn't talk about on the podcast. So I just figured that I run that back.
Yeah.
So sorry, July 5th. So I'm just going to read the quotes because whatever. The free July 5th update will also include more hero levels, new trophies, adjusted legendary weapons and loot drop rates, 2 new difficulty levels. So now that's three new difficulty levels in total. A richer arc ship experience. I don't play this game, so I have no idea what that means. But they put in brackets new rooms, harder enemies, better loot. So I'm guessing the arc ship is like maybe end game shit. And the introduction of leagues, which consist of 5 ranks with each cycle lasting for 1 week, allowing you to unlock additional bullet colors as you climb the ladders of glory. As for paid content, House Marquee revealed the $10 Season Pass and the $6 Survivors Pack will both be available for purchase on July 5th. Here's what's included in the Survivors Pack. The Survivors Pack includes the Vortex Grenade, a new piece of gear that sucks all enemies in its path. Hey, Graviton Surge, into a kind of black hole, dealing constant damage to all enemies trapped within. In addition to this, all primary weapons are available to all hero classes, as you will also have 3 exclusive bullet colors at your disposal to make the game even more colorful than ever. Now you to blast the Xenos with more personal style. The Season Pass includes access to blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So yeah, overall, man, I just want to give House Marquee some. It's funny how similar this game is to Helldivers in every aspect. When the game was first announced, I actually heard about it in a Helldivers discussion thread. People were talking about, oh, this game is coming out that's pretty similar. Maybe we should check it out. And then the game comes out and they're talking about how similar the gameplay is to Helldivers, and now even the DLC structure is very similar to Helldivers in that all the gameplay stuff is free, and then the cosmetics and the extra weapons are paid. But overall, I never really got into Alienation. I'm probably just going to wait because $20 says this game is going to be free at some point. Shout out to Sony. Yeah. But I'm probably just going to wait. But it really does seem that, like, the main reason why I didn't buy it at launch was because it's a co-op game. And, I enjoyed Helldivers, but I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I had some people to play with consistently, right? So after that experience and my Magicka 2 experience, I figured I'm just not even going to bother with this until I knew that I had like a group to reliably play. Yeah. Reliably play this game with. So yeah.
Like that's pretty much most of these kind of games. Like I was lucky enough where when I bought Helldiver, I told everyone when Helldivers was free for that month. I was like, okay, download Helldivers, do it now. And then once most of my friends had downloaded it, then I started playing co-op. I had the 4-player co-op going for a while. So I thought it was really worth it, and I really did enjoy a lot of Helldivers when that game was at its peak and whatnot. But yeah, no, overall really good stuff, and hopefully we get to see more of these kinds of games because I really did like Helldivers, so I'd love to see more. But our next piece of news, we've got PlayStation Now coming to PC. This is very interesting. So basically, it's so the PS Now streaming service or streaming games is going to be available on PC and whatnot.
Yeah.
I would assume you'd have to have a relatively decent computer to do this, though.
Like, I mean, I don't think. I don't know. It's weird. Because I'm thinking these are gonna be PS3 games, right? For now,
yeah,
anyway.
For now. Hey.
But yeah, these are probably gonna be primarily PS3 games at first. So I don't think you'd need like too powerful of a PC to.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. To run PS3 games. Mm-hmm. The other interesting thing is that they also added a PS4. They're gonna start selling a PS4 controller that's compatible. No. It's a USB that's compatible.
Yeah, it's a USB stick that is compatible with the PS4 controller. It's basically meant so that you don't have to like plug it in with a cord. You can just connect via wireless.
Mm-hmm. Pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, $24.99. I mean, I've bought things at a way higher price than that, but still, for just a USB stick.
Oh, and just for the record, they actually released the specs. So I'm not a PC gamer, so you're gonna have to tell me if these requirements are high. Windows 7 SP1, 8.1 or 10, 3.5 gigahertz Intel Core i3 or 3.8 gigahertz AMD A10 or faster, 300 megabytes or more, 2 gigabytes or more of RAM. That's actually pretty damn low.
Yeah, it is actually pretty low now I think about it. So
yeah,
that's actually
sound
not
card
that bad.
And USB port. Yeah, like I need like 3 gigs to run Hearthstone. So that's so yeah, 2 gigs is pretty damn low.
Yeah, I mean, like, overall it's pretty good. I mean, I've only done streaming games once, and that was with the PlayStation 4 Remote Play. That I did that one time, that just to test it out and see how it worked. And it was fun. I was able to play it. But like I said, like this is definitely there's a specific type of audience for this game, and you have to have a strong internet.
Yes.
Like to even attempt this, like you have to have like something really high speed or ultra high speed or something like that, because it's just gonna lag and it's just gonna make the game worse.
Yes.
Although part of the thing that's like I think streaming is an interesting way, but to play games like this. But I'm also kind of like I can't see a situation in which streaming a game, if I have the option to just play it on the console, would be better. I think the thing that would make this better, let's say I wanted, this is a PS3 library, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. So I could see, in a sense, where it's like this is a Netflix thing, where it's like, all right, I want to get rid of my PS3 for whatever reasons. I don't have the room or whatnot. I just want to have PS Now so that if I want to, I can go back to some of these older games and still play them. So I can kind of see that.
You know who's really excited about this announcement?
Who?
Do you remember that guy who didn't understand? That guy that got into that big argument with me about why do consoles even exist? And he just absolutely loved the PC, and he was like that. Oh, but you could mod and all that shit. Do you remember that guy?
Yeah, I remember that guy. That was
He seen this announcement, and he's like, "Yo, where is that black dude I got into that argument with?" You see, because like with this, like you don't like if you're one of those like pure PC people. Oh, alliteration for the win. You don't even get. I mean, it's sure it's better. Mm-hmm. It's better on consoles, but this gives you the option to. Yeah. I mean, like the PlayStation Now pricing is still kind of. I don't like it. Like
$20 per month is still pretty high.
Yeah, or $45 for 3 months. That's. I mean, at the end of the day, these are like $60 games. So.
Yeah. Like you are making your money's worth, but like the thing about this is like if it was just like a $5 cheaper, I would say it would be very, because like I think of this as like the Netflix, right? And it's like I'm paying $8 for Netflix a month, right? Or around that. And the thing is that I've got a huge library of really good movies, but I've also got a ton of these movies that are kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like I can just ignore the shitty ones and just have just watch the good ones. So it's kind of like with games. That's an interesting thing where it's like if I have a library of PS3 games and I think these ones are shitty and I only have like 5 that I think are good, then it becomes less of a good deal,
This is true. This is true. The other thing though is that we'll see because Sony to Sony's credit, they've kept supporting this. They've kept adding brand new games to the library. I think Capcom just recently added most of their library to PlayStation now, and I'm pretty sure at some point they're gonna start adding PS4 games to this too. So it's a bit of an investment, I guess, but yeah, it's. Huh. We'll see. We'll see. At the very least, it gives PC players the option.
Yeah, and I guess you could argue that this is sort of Sony's response to like, all right, we don't have backwards compatibility with the PS4, but we do have this.
Yeah, so it's a bad response.
It's a bad response, but it's better than like it's better than like saying like, all right, we're PS3 doesn't matter at all.
This is true.
And I would rather have something than nothing. So.
This is true.
But interesting enough, cool stuff. We also got some details on the PlayStation 4 Slim. A bunch of new stuff. Apparently, supposedly, runs pretty smooth and quiet. Apparently, the new controller feels a lot more solid. So there has been like little tweaks to the controller itself. I don't know. Have they announced the pricing for it yet?
No. I'm gonna assume at the very least it'll be $399. Nothing. I can't imagine it'd be anything more than $399.
No. Honestly, I kind of hope it's cheaper than that. I'm hoping it's at least like $300 to $350 because like I don't know. I want it to be cheaper. Like, but at the very. Naturally. But yeah, it's probably gonna be $399 or $350.
Yeah, one interesting thing though is that the controller, in the notes, it states that the controller comes with an option to select the communication method with the PS4 between USB and Bluetooth. Mm-hmm. This option seems to be available only to the new version of the controller, but it does appear on the original PS4 console as well. Okay, so let me just give you. So right now, and this is something a lot of people don't actually realize, is that right now, there's the PS4 controller. Even when you plug it into the PS4, it still communicates with the console with Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and you're like, oh, why does that matter? Like one of my, I play fighting games and I play it on, I play on a fight stick. But one of my friends, he uses the PS4 controller, and he's like that the fact that you're using Bluetooth over an actual connection creates lag in certain situations, input lag. There's like a frame or two. You hit the button, but it doesn't register for like a frame or two, right?
Right.
So that is a little. I mean, it's like a minor issue, but it is an issue, right, to some people. So I'm glad to see that they acknowledge that it was an issue, and they fixed it. They also apparently fixed that stupid light bar thing. Like, oh my god, that's one of the things I hated the most about the PS4 controller, because the light bar does nothing but drain your battery. So they're like that. The light bar doesn't actually have a light of its own now. It's just a see-through strip on the touchpad that lets the original light shine through. The battery is the same. Mm-hmm. However, Shortman82, which is the person who leaks the PS4 Slim, mentions that he owned the console for 24 hours and the controller still had 2 bars. The current controllers have like 6 hours of lifespan. It's ridiculous. So that's good.
Yeah.
The console itself looks like shit, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the little symbols on the top, like the divots. Like just sort of randomly placed on top. I'm like, it doesn't look that slick to me. And the one thing I think the PS4 has going for it is that I really like this slick angular design.
I actually really, I didn't like the PS3 Slim either. So I guess they're keeping consistent.
Consistent, yeah.
Because similar to you, I really like the PS4's design, and I also, it's funny because this isn't surprising at all. Like there's been a slim version of every PlayStation console. Yeah. However, the PS4 was relatively slim in itself. So I wouldn't have been surprised if they never made a slim PS4 either.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've
I think the main reason for this is just so like, all right, you've got your regular PS4, and now you've got your cheaper PS4. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I think that's the main reasoning behind it. Even though it's like, yeah, it's smaller, but
It's much smaller actually. I saw a picture of someone putting the Slim on top of a regular PS4, and it's
yeah,
much smaller.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
but
I have no problems with I have no problems with it, but I'm just like I'm more interested to see what the price is, because the pricing of this thing is going to be the deal breaker, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me and you, I doubt either of us is going to
Well,
buy
no, I'm saying that for us it doesn't really matter that much, because newsflash, we already have PS4s.
it. Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, I want to know what this price is, because if it's like, if the Xbox One Slim comes out and it's like a much better deal, then this is going to suck for Sony.
Well, I mean, the Xbox One Slim is already out. It's the Xbox One S.
Well, yeah, the Xbox One S. No, I know that, but what is the pricing on the Xbox One S?
That's a very good question. You know what? You just fill up the dead space.
Yeah, fill up the dead space.
Yeah, just keep talking.
Yeah, so that PS4 Slim, it's it's a real interesting thing, you know?
So yeah, the Xbox One S is $400 for the 2 TB launch edition.
Okay.
Let me see, and then the 500 GB starts at $300, and there's $350 for the 1 TB. So yeah, that's the price. I'm just gonna assume that these are American prices, so just add like $50 for the Canadian version of all of this.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, it's actually funny how similar Sony and Microsoft are at this point, because we've got the PS4 and the Xbox One, the PS4 Slim and the Xbox One S, and then the Xbox One Scorpio and the PS4 Neo that's probably going to be revealed next month. So yeah. What's that? How's that line go? Good artists copy, great artists steal, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
They've just been stealing from each other, back and forth.
Very interesting stuff, though. Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting stuff.
But last on our list, we got something really awesome. Dark Souls 3 DLC. Finally, we get a trailer.
Oh yeah.
It looks rad. I'm loving that we get a snow-related DLC. As I've stated before, I really enjoyed the last snow-related DLC in a Dark Souls game, and I like the wolf aesthetic. It makes me think that a certain character might show up from Dark Souls 1. So
I doubt it.
Well, this is the thing that I'm curious about, and I'll explain it later. After I'm hearing what you thought of the trailer, but I'm interested to see the new characters and whatnot, the new environments. I think are going to be interesting. As long as they just add a good amount of new weapons, spells, and just a new area. That boss in the trailer looked really freaking rad.
Yeah. So it's kind of creepy how she was like whipping herself.
Yeah, like it was a creepy boss, but that's exactly what Dark Souls is all about.
This is true. But yeah, overall, it looks pretty cool. They also said that they're adding a dedicated PvP arena. Apparently, this was something that was in Dark Souls 2. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. There was a covenant in Dark Souls 2 that was basically the PvP covenant. You would go into this arena, and it would be randomized every single time, and that would be the area to fight people, basically.
Okay, yeah, so they said that they're adding a dedicated PvP arena in addition to, brand new spells, brand new weapons, brand new armor pieces, and a brand new area with more lore implications and bosses and all that good stuff. But overall, man, the trailer was pretty cool. The music was awesome, as always. At this point, it just goes without saying. I like the aesthetic of the snow area. I loved Canehurst Castle. That's one of my favorite areas in Bloodborne.
Yep.
So yeah, I've got a good relationship with snow. One of my favorite and least favorite bosses at the same time in the game is also in that area. So yeah.
So there we go.
I'm really interested in the lore implications of all of this. That's one thing I'm
going to bring out a point that I thought was interesting is that in the trailer they showed some of the older bosses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, that's kind of interesting. Why I wonder why they're showing these older bosses, and then it made me think that perhaps we may see slightly different like things happen with these bosses if things are done in this DLC, because they have done this before. So I'm going to talk about something that's a bit spoilery, so just bear that in mind. Or Dark Souls 1. So Dark Souls 1 has a really awesome boss called Sif, who is this giant-ass wolf with a greatsword, right?
Yeah.
So when you fight him in the base game, you fight him and he just looks at you, he growls, and then he howls at the moon, and then he fights you, and then you kill him, right?
Yeah.
In the DLC, you end up in this rift that essentially brings you back in time, and you go and fight this boss. And the cool thing about it is that you get to see Sif. You get to see Sif when he's super young and a small little like dog, right?
Yeah.
And you can free him from his cage, and he will help you fight the boss.
Okay.
And the cool thing about this is that if you do this before you fight Sif in the base game, when you start that encounter, Sif will growl at you for a little bit, but then he'll whimper afterwards because he realizes who you are and he doesn't really want to kill you. And it's probably one of the stronger moments in the entire series. And I'm just like, if they can bring something similar to that with this DLC, I'm going to be really happy.
Yeah. Oh, we also got a release date, October 25th.
Oh, yeah.
So, October just got a hell of a lot more crowded.
Yeah. October's getting packed.
Yeah, but I guess that's how it just goes every year. But overall, a very, very strong looking DLC. I'm excited to get more info on it, and I'm assuming you'll be wanting your copy of Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, you assumed correctly.
Yeah. I'll probably hopefully the game will go on sale around the time the DLC is coming out, and then I'll pick it up. Otherwise, maybe I'll pick up Titanfall 2 and just wait for the second DLC to come out.
And just get it all at once.
Yeah. The one issue is that what's this thing called? Unlike Bloodborne, the Dark Souls 3's New Game Plus is extremely easy. I don't know if I've gotten into this on the podcast.
No, you did. I think you did. You said
yeah, it's extremely easy. So I will not be using my New Game Plus character for this. Yeah.
I just ignored New Game Plus completely because I was like, I wanted to have my character in the base game as my character in the base game. So
yeah. The bosses in New Game. I don't know. Maybe I was over leveled because I killed every single boss in the even the bonus bosses. I was probably just over leveled because I killed all the extra bosses, right?
Right. Yeah.
So then when I started New Game Plus, and I'm guessing they scale New Game Plus, assuming that you haven't killed any of the bosses yet, right? So you haven't killed any of the extra bosses.
Like the extra bosses.
Yeah, so I was probably like 20 levels too high by the time I started it. Apparently New Game Plus is actually difficult still. That's what my friend tells me. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll either get to New Game Plus before the DLC comes out. I'll just start a brand new character for this. This is the exact situation I was in when Bloodborne's DLC came out, FYI. I had a bunch of characters, but then none of them. They were either because one of them was in New Game Plus. I mean, it was a little different because one of my characters was in New Game Plus, but she was under leveled. Yeah, because I had just started New Game Plus with her, and then the other character was in the regular game, and he was under leveled. So yeah, I was in the worst possible situation
to get to that DLC.
Yeah. So we'll see. But overall, this looks pretty cool. Can't wait for the 25th of October. Hopefully, this new PvP area makes farming the Covenants a lot easier. Because that's one thing that's kind of killed my enthusiasm for that game right now. Is that like you have to actually farm and if it was like, okay, I just put on the Covenant and I go into PvP. And I do it. Have you tried the game's PvP, by the way?
I have. Like,
it's pretty terrible.
It's okay. Like, it's not fantastic, but it's okay. Like honestly, I this is another thing I feel like I enjoyed it a little bit more in Dark Souls 2. Weirdly enough,
I think a lot of people enjoyed it more in Dark Souls.
So that's what my thing is that like I'm interested to see if they are taking some some aspects of Dark Souls 2 and bringing it over, then I'm actually kind of excited for that from a PvP standpoint.
Yeah,
but PvP is always really it's hard to nail in this game because there's always going to be that situation where you're fighting that one guy that just threw everything into vitality, and he has like 1,000,000 health, and you just don't stand a chance. So I don't know, it's difficult. It is difficult.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the issue with PvP right now. I think the issue with PvP right now is the fact that first of all, you have covenants that are designed to mess up PvP. Well, the Blue Sentinels. If you're a member of the Blue Sentinels and I invade someone's game, then it'll always be 2v1. Because like you just automatically summon somebody else and then I'm outnumbered right out the gate. Then you invade people's games. Then there's also the fact that people who have other people in their games are more likely to be invaded, which then means that I, the invader, are more likely to invade, to be outnumbered. That like my issue with PvP is the fact that like 9 out of 10 times you're outnumbered when you invade. And it really pisses me off. I did not run into this issue as much in Bloodborne. No, to be fair, I didn't invade that much in Bloodborne. I think part of the issue is the sorry?
I was just going to say, invading really wasn't a thing in Bloodborne as much as it is in Dark Souls.
Yeah, because, I mean, there really wasn't an incentive, like, you invade and you got, like, what were the benefits to leveling up your covenants? There was only one covenant you could level up in the entire game, if I'm not mistaken. So
I think it was just access to better runes. I think that was the main thing.
Yeah, so PvP in Bloodborne, there wasn't a lot of incentive to do it, but then at the same time, I didn't get like ganked.
Yeah, that is true, and I think that's going to fit this PvP arena is going to fix that problem. So you'll always have an area that you can just 1v1.
Yeah, that's really what I'm hoping. If I can just 1v1, then I don't have a problem with the Covenants. I don't have as much of a problem with the Covenants, right? I'm still trying to figure out how to like co-op with people, because like I put like you're supposed to put like the white soapstone thing next to a boss room, but then if you move too far away from that boss room, then it disappears. So I'm like, what am I supposed to just put that there and sit and just wait?
Yeah, unfortunately, like I think it's because it's like it's a loading thing. And like honestly, like if you're trying to co-op with a specific person, then that's a whole other thing that you can do with the settings and whatnot. But if you're just trying to co-op with randoms and just fight a boss, or just help someone fight a boss, then you sort of just like leave your soapstone or whatnot. The other thing is that obviously you should also be aware of your level when you place your soapstone, because if you're level 60 and you're placing your soapstone at a level 1 like a level 20 boss, then it's probably going to be a lot harder to find someone in that range.
Okay.
So I would just suggest that if you're having trouble with that. But either way, I think CLC is going to be really, really good. I'm glad it's coming out soon because I've been dying to get back into Dark Souls. So before we wrap things up, we got our question of the day from the wonderful J Streets. So J Streets asks us, so Metal Gear Zombie bullshit got me thinking, what video game franchise that you've played had the biggest fall from grace due to developers' highly questionable design decisions?
So, have you figured out your answer yet?
I have one. I'm curious which one you're gonna say. You say yours first. What's yours?
Okay. So I'm just gonna go with Fable straight up.
Fable. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Fable. Fable was never that good to begin with. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. Right?
I think the first one is a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, honestly, I would give the Lost Chapters a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
to be completely honest.
7 or 8.
Yeah. I think the first Fable was probably like a 7, but then I think the Lost Chapters expansion was a solid game, very solid game, a solid 8 out of 10. And then they just completely lost the plot. Like, completely lost the plot. Fable 2, they come in and they quote-unquote fix things that were never broken to begin with. They're like that, we wanted to make combat... Oh, my God. Like when I say this, I can't believe I'm actually quoting a video game developer. He's like that. I wanted to make combat more intense. What we wanted to make it more like the stakes. We wanted to raise the stakes, so we made it impossible to die. and I'm just sitting there like, what?
Like,
it's like the most hilarious part about that is that he was talking about how he was watching Kill Bill, and there's that final fight between of the first Kill Bill between Uma Thurman and Lucy Liu in the snow, and that fight is amazing, by the way. If you haven't watched Kill Bill, you should go check that. You should go check that movie
right
now. But yeah, like he's talking about how like every blow was really important. So his logic is that
I know what he was trying to say at the time. At the time, what he was saying is that the reason why you can't actually ever die in this game, sort of. You get reloaded to a checkpoint and whatnot.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things that they wanted, and the biggest thing they wanted was that your character will get scarred. So if you have this super badass pretty boy and you die a bunch of times, he's not going to be a pretty boy for very long. And I can tell, like, there are, like, eventually what happened, because I actually played, I finished Fable 2.
Same here.
I actually completed it. And the one thing I will give it credit is I do understand what he was going for, because, like, there are decisions in that game where it's like, my character looks fucked up now. Like, my character has this, like, weird blue scarring all over his face because I decided to take the rough route for most of the decisions, in which, like, I need to free these slaves, and the only way to do that is to grab this handlebar that will physically hurt me and make me lose experience. Although there was actually a point in that game where you actually lost experience by doing this decision. Although my friend told me of a really great exploit to get around that and not feel as bad. It's basically, hey, you know what? If you're going to get to that point and lose experience, why don't you just spend all your experience points? And then I went, oh yeah. So I just spent all my experience points on everything imaginable, so I had, like, 2 experience. So when I did that, I only lost, like, 2 experience, and then I couldn't lose anymore. So it defeated the whole purpose.
Yeah. But yeah, Fable, definitely Fable. Like, I could go on forever about Fable 2. So I'm just gonna cut back a little bit. But that game, that was probably the first big disappointment for me of the last of the Xbox 360 generation, and I feel like Fable 2 was the moment. I mean, at this point, the Fable franchise doesn't even exist anymore, which just goes to show you. And I feel like Fable 2 was the start of the downfall, because they forgot what made the first Fable. What made, I mean, like, at the end of the day, this is funny. Through all the disappointment, through all the broken promises, a lot of people loved the first Fable. Like you said, it was a solid, like, 8 out of 10. If you ignore all the bullshit that Peter Molyneux said before the game launched,
like the way he was hyping it, and I guess because I bought the game not knowing about all the hype that was associated with it, I had a pretty decent experience with that. That was actually my first PC game I ever played. Weirdly enough.
Yeah, like, if you ignore all the hype and all that stuff, yeah, the first Fable is a solid game. And then they just completely, I mean, first of all, like, and to go back to the whole death thing, like, first of all, Fable is so easy. That game is so, like, I beat the first Fable with my starting equipment. Like, I didn't change my outfit. I got, like, a hammer in one of the first.
My friend beat the final boss with a stick.
Yeah, I got a hammer in, like, the first area, and I used that hammer till the end of the game. So, like, Fable was not even a difficult game to begin with. Then they keep the resurrection vials, and then they take away the ability to die. And look, like, that right there just shows, like, incompetent game design. I'm sorry, with all due respect. I know, I'm no brilliant game designer, but, like, that right there is incompetent game design. Why are you adding a resurrection mechanic to a game where characters can't die? Like, what is the logic behind this? And it's just, and then they come out and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make every decision actually count, and it's like, no, you're not. Stop lying to us. Like, and then they have, like, a really, really shitty morality system. Now, to be fair, I think most games have shitty morality systems, so I'm not just going to single out Fable for that. But yes, Fable 2 is Fable as a franchise. I mean, it's a dead franchise now. But yeah, Fable as a franchise is like, it could have been so much better if they had just, like, I mean, here's the thing. It was never going to compete with the Elder Scrolls. It was never going to compete with The Witcher, right? But it could have carved out its own little niche.
I wish it would have kept its original roots but still keep its weird British vibe.
Yeah,
because it's a very British game. It's a very British game, and that was the one thing. That was the one thing I really liked about it.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, it was never going to compete with the Elder Scrolls, like
No,
ever.
no,
They
absolutely.
it was never going to compete with The Witcher 3. But like they could have carved out a little niche for themselves. But I mean, and then they changed the setting. I have no idea why they changed the setting. Why they fast forwarded in time and they made it more modern and they took it to like the Oliver Twist era when they had a really cool thing going with the medieval time. And overall, man, like practically every decision that they made with Fable 2 was a wrong decision. I'm racking my brain right now to try to think of something that they actually improved. Okay, they kind of improved the magic system. I like some of the changes that
some of the changes to the magic system were cool.
Yeah,
I did enjoy some of the interactions with NPCs, but it felt more like a Sims game than it did from the original. I don't know. Overall, I totally get it. Do you want to hear what mine is?
Yeah.
I am actually gonna say Resident Evil.
Huh? Yeah, I can definitely agree with
that. Because the thing about Resident Evil is that I'm specifically saying like I questionably around 5 and 6 is where it was a big fall from grace, especially with 6. But I understand what happened. Resident Evil started out as a tank controls, fixed camera horror game, very survival aspects to it, and it had its own niche and whatnot. Now Resident Evil 4 came in and then flipped the switch for sure, but it still kept its roots in survival horror and just had more action elements to it, but a healthy dose. It wasn't overboating, and the camera switch was refreshing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is that at around 5, and this was the telling mark, is that they started moving away from the horror and going too far into the action.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, because why is this Resident Evil game, half of the game is in day? Like, seriously? That makes no sense. And then 6 is where they dropped the ball completely, because 6 was where they just decided we want to compete with other action games, so we're going to just change Resident Evil into an action game, and a not-so-impressive action game. So, and I feel like that was the biggest, honestly, if they had just kept to their horror roots, then, I feel like Resident Evil would be in a better place. But they keep going into action. Like, we haven't even talked about the abomination that was that Resident Evil Corp game. Remember that one?
No, I don't.
You don't. It was a multiplayer game that got announced during the...
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
That came out. I watched gameplay footage of that, and that thing looks abysmal. And it's just another thing where it's like, why can't Resident Evil capture what it used to be? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like that's my answer for just the biggest fall from grace due to the developers wanting to make it into an action game.
It's funny though. I completely agree with your choice of Resident Evil. Although, I place the blame on Resident Evil 4. People say that it started with 5. But for me, I'm like, that 4 was actually where it started to lose.
4 is where it started, but the problem is that 4 is a really good game.
This is true. That is why people always put the blame on 5 instead of 4, right?
Yeah.
Because 4 is a really good game, but 4 is it's not a very scary game. Because
there were scary moments, but it's as compared to some of the earlier ones.
3? Oh my god. Where you're always being chased by Nemesis from the start to the end. Yeah, it's but no, I feel you. They definitely lost the plot. I think 5 gets a little too much flack. I think 5 is still
I think 5 is fine. The problem I have with 5 is that Resident Evil 4 is where I guess you could say the seeds were planted for things to go bad. Resident Evil 5 was where the seeds were starting to grow.
And Resident Evil 6 was where the tree just rotted.
Yeah, just the tree just boom.
It all went to shit in Resident. Yeah, I feel like we can disagree about 4 and 5, but I think we can both agree that where everything absolutely went wrong was 6.
Yeah. So
it is the less said about 6 the better.
I guess
but yeah, 7 is looking interesting.
7 is looking interesting. It's another Switch, but it's a return to form to a certain extent where it's like, all right, we're treating this game as a horror game.
Yes.
It will be interesting to see because it's clearly taking it's so obviously trying to take aspects from PT, like down to like camera angles and everything.
Hey, they were like, if Konami, you know, want to shit the bed with this PT, then hey, we'll just steal this idea and give the people what they want.
Yeah.
You know, this for once, this sounds like Capcom are actually, you know, pulling their heads out of their buttholes and doing something that gamers actually want. But yeah, very, very nice question there, J Streets. Thanks for the trip down memory lane. The less pleasant side of memory lane.
The less pleasant trip down memory lane.
But a trip nonetheless.
Anyway, so I think we're going to have to wrap things up. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you leave a comment in the comment section, we'll make sure to answer in the next podcast. And as always, this was your host, William Liberty, and...
Waz Muhammad Yusuf.
See you guys next time.